I get very weighed down with everything. By the end of some days, I can't put one foot in front of the other, almost literally. But you know, that's what my job is, to help wherever I can. But she's, I think, more attuned, let's say, to me now. I think we are more attuned to each other, really.
We've always been a pretty good couple, if I may say so. Just like every other married couple, you've got your ups and downs, but it hasn't altered that much, you know. You tend to do more. I tend to do more for my wife now, you know, domestically. You know, I'll do the shopping, I'll do this, I'll do the cleaning and so forth. Probably more, we talk more, to be honest with you. When I come to think about it, we do talk more and we communicate better.
The independence, I could slowly see that slipping away, and that was hard to watch because she was super independent and you couldn't sort of tell her what to do, and you know, she was in control her whole life up until, you know, 2 years ago. And yeah, so, but you know, she still got up and was on time, waiting at the front of the house to go to her chemo sessions and all that. And there was never a time where we had to go in and drag her out of bed to go take her to appointments or anything like that, which can happen too. I guess what eventually eventuated out of that was that we become more not mother and daughter. So the mother and daughter, the idealistic of, you know, the mother is the one who's in charge of the daughter. It become not daughter anymore, carer. And so she saw me as the carer. If there's a problem, I go to her, she fixes it. Yeah.
So for the instance of my father, I guess, he was the one that was caring for us all the time. He was, you know, it's your dad, he's strong, he does this, he was never sick. And then all of a sudden you're taking him to the toilet and you're doing things that you thought you would never do and that he probably doesn't want you to do. So the relationship definitely changes. But I think when you're in that situation, from my experience, people will give you, the patient or the person you're caring for, the relationship, they might be resistant at first because there's their dignity, there's so many issues that are happening. But I guess as a daughter, you are really the closest person that could help that person, being my father or my sister. No one knows you like your father does or your sister does.
There was challenging though. She was going through a lot of pain and suffering. So it was very frustrating for her to get comfortable at times. And you know, she was very much independent, and she wanted to do things herself. And she was so you know, for her to ask for help and things were very frustrating for her. And she was very family orientated, so she wanted to do a lot for the family. And so their relationship probably suffered a bit in that sense. You know, because she couldn't do things and had to rely on myself a lot of times. It got a little frustrating for her, and she, you know, would snap or get a little bit angry. And you know, but I understood that because I knew the type of person she was and how she wanted to do things and always look after the family.
It's hard because in situations where he struggles, that, you know, his relationship with his kids has changed. They don't run to him for certain things. He can't jump on the trampoline with his kids because of his leg, and so that kind of thing has a huge emotional toll on Tim. You know, of course he can do other stuff with the kids, but there's certain things that they don't bother him with because they know he may not be able to help them, or they know when he's in treatment that he's tired and, oh, Daddy's sick this week. They're well aware of all of that, and I think that breaks his heart, and then he has times where he feels like a burden on his family, and which obviously, you know, try and reassure him that we wouldn't have it any other way. We'd rather him here and us all help together than him not be here. But it definitely, has an impact on your relationship.